is a difference between you and me. We both looked into the abyss. But when it looked back at us, you blinked.
Hi guys, Angreifer here, and this is a DC Legends video. In this video, first of all, I'm going over September. I have not read the kits. The only kit that I made it a point to read was the Batman CC kit, just because I've had him rebirthed since like he was the first toon I ever rebirthed. Knowing he wasn't worth it, knowing he was trash, but I'm a huge Batman fan, which is why I'm very excited about this month. However, I've already test played him. There is an issue with his damage on his A3. I don't have anything official. Well, you know, I'm a crappy small YouTube site, so I'm definitely not getting official information from WB about anything. But it is hard for me to believe that there isn't a bug or something. So, as opposed to, I'm going to go through his kit in this, but I'm actually going to put this part of the video out first, and then the rest is going to come out on YouTube on Friday. But there's no way this is what Batman CC's damage is supposed to be. There's a bug. Somebody forgot a zero. Somebody put a comma somewhere. Somebody forgot a decimal point. Something in there is wrong. And I'm sure in the next couple days, I'm hoping in the next couple days that it will be resolved. Because if that's supposed to be his damage, his A3 can't even one-shot weak mystics. So I don't believe that. So now what I'm going to do is get on with the video. So hope you guys enjoyed this preview. I'm releasing this on Thursday. So you guys just, I just had to say something about it. I don't know. In any case, let's go ahead and get into the video. I'm going to go over September. September is here. Batman, Jace Fox, and spoiler, Stephanie Brown. Batman, back when he was called Batwing, and it was a guy from Africa who was a cop who did. That's when I got in. That's how far. Far back. That was like 2011, 2012, but whatever. I remember following this line of honestly having an African American Batman. The other, I don't know if it was Jace Fox or some other Fox, but one of Lucius's son. He was military and then came back and didn't want to work for his dad's company, whatever. I think that was the Batman Incorporated storyline, and then there's this new storyline apparently that I haven't even looked at. And spoiler is someone who looks interesting to me in the first place, and I've actually looked up Cassandra Cain, Stephanie Brown comics that I want to read. So before getting into any of that, I'm saying all this to say, guys, send me your comic book recommendations for these two characters. I am a huge Batman fan. I've fallen off on reading a lot of it lately because life. But if you guys have any comic book recommendations for me to read, your recommendations have been awesome to this point. Like I didn't even read what was the one I just read? Oh my, you know what? Not even to get into it. Let me know your thought, your favorite, or any comics that you think are necessary that I have to read in order to learn more about Spoiler, Orphan, and Batman. So, or Batman, Jace Fox. So that being said, let's go ahead, get into their kits. So with the one further ado, I drop DC Legends videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Marvel Future Revolutions videos every Tuesday, Thursday, and Raid Shadow Legends videos weekly. So please like, please subscribe. And if you don't like it, hit subscribe and hit dislike. I'm okay with that as well. And also, join the Patreon. Help support a very small channel. For those of you who don't know, I do all this for free because YouTube won't pay until you have 1,000 subscribers, and I definitely don't have 1,000 subscribers. So join the Patreon, help keep the channel alive if you can. I know times are hard for different people, so if you can, it would be greatly appreciated, and I'd love you for it. Now, let's go ahead and get into it now that all that other crap that I need to say is out of the way. September is almost here. DC Legends with Batman, Jace Fox, spoiler, Stephanie Brown, reworked Riddler, the Prince of Puzzles, which I always got the impression that he was okay in Raid, but maybe it's just he's not good anywhere else. Two-Face, Duke of Duality, which I think he could be. That's not. Let me read the rework before I go ahead and say it. And special rework for Batman Day, Batman Caped Crusader are now live in game. Maybe they fixed the bug on Batman Day. All right, so anyway, Stephanie Brown. Once Stephanie Brown discovered her family identified as villain, her father's identity as a villain, she took a new identity as Spoiler. She joined the Bat family and made it her objective to ruin Cluemaster's plans. All right, so good influence. Damage to a single enemy, double damage if Spoiler is invisible, Legendary, also 50% chance to apply silence on a random enemy. Okay. 40% on misled, or mislead, sorry. 40% shield to all allies. Apply invisibility for 2 turns on the primary target. Okay. And 200, I'm guessing, percent. I don't know what that is. Damage to a single random adversary. So she's giving shield, she's applying invisibility to a primary target, but at the same time she's attacking a random enemy on the other side. Apply true sight on the target. This is a legendary point. Let me think on that. Team focus, damage to all enemies and apply taunt to the primary target. I like that. Double damage if spoiler is invisible. Legendary, call ally to assist, additional assist if spoiler is invisible. Okay, so let me go ahead and say this. I do like how lately they're kind of like with Jericho, they did it too, and I wasn't so great. I wasn't so ecstatic about Jericho, albeit I think he had his utilities. Just the idea of him giving taunts to being when he's attacked was great in terms of trying to get Azrael from hiding behind barters and stuff, except for the fact that he was a mystic, and so then he died. But I like that, and now I kind of like how they're weaponizing a taunt, because a taunt isn't always a great thing. So if she's fast, depending on her speed is at 87, so 30, that'll make it 117, 35. Oh, wow. I'm really bad at math right now. So 310, so that is going to be 122, which would put her up at the higher end if I'm not mistaken. Does that make her faster than Kaga? I'm gonna go ahead and check that out, see if she's faster than Kaga right now. Not 100% sure. Anyway, but I like how they're weaponizing taunt. So because taunt isn't always something that you want. Like for example, with Donna Troy, I wish they would remove taunt from her kit because she just does not stand up to damage the way that she used to in the mid game and in previous years. Power creep has made her suffer. So taunt isn't always a plus. So I like how they're weaponizing this one buff in her kit. It's cool. All right, so now, and in fact, now that I have my DC Legends open, let me go ahead and check the speed on Kaga. His speed is at 137. Or no, I'm sorry, 127. He's at 127 and she's at 122 if I'm reading this correctly. You know what? I think that she may, as I'm like struggling right now, my brain has had a gigantic fart. I'm trying to remember okay, so let's see. So then how fast is Red Robin? Because I know Red Robin is slower than Kaga. Sorry, this is really important to me, and it's basically because if I can weaponize that taunt, it changes a whole lot of things in terms of how I would view her as a potential toon for you to work on, for me to work on. 122. And so then she is just below Kaga, and I think she's faster than, I think she's faster than Red Robin now. See, 92 plus 35, since I can't do math in my head right now. 127, so she's slower than Kaga, slower than Aqualad, slower than Red Robin, but her speed is up there. She's pretty fast. She's on, okay. All right, okay. Shadow Steps, 75% chance to apply 3 int ups and 50% turn meter up on a random ally at the end of spoiler's turn. All attacks from legendary point, all attacks from spoiler ignore shield if she is invisible. I like the legendary point. The int ups makes she's a physical damage. So giving int ups is great, which means that she would run well in special damage comps, I guess, but then that's not of any benefit to her. So like if I'm putting her with a, let's say Clayface, because Clayface starts a team off with invisibility. Well, that's already 2 toons that are useless because those are special damage int ups. I would run her with Lex, but then the int ups that Lex gives aren't useful because she's physical damage. So I'm just confused as to the use of that. Like, why not 3 strength ups instead of 3 int ups? All right, whatever. Yeah, especially on a random ally. So that means that if I do run her with Clayface, for example, then she's going to give. There's a good chance that she gives Clayface 3 int ups. What does that do for him? I mean, it does. Okay, it does increase your defense against special damage tunes. So that okay. So in that realm, I guess it makes sense. Yeah. All right, in that realm, it makes sense that it does increase your defense against special damage. So I guess that's okay. Um, Alert: 60% chance to gain invisibility at the end of her turn. 50% chance to gain awareness. I mean, okay, I guess. Her kit seems like she's going to be right at the middle, B tier, maybe high C tier, but I mean, she needs invisibility to get going. Okay, fair. That's not bad. On her A1, damage to a single target, double damage, she's invisible. Okay, but she doesn't start battle with invisibility, so you got to run her with somebody or hope that because she's not the fastest. So legendary also applies silence. Okay, so shield 40%. I mean, I'm just looking at someone like Stargirl who just got 75% shield in her kit, and then also yeah. So but apply invisibility to primary target. So that's not even like apply invisibility to self and primary target, kind of similar to a Star Sapphire and her Overheal. This is just two primary targets, so you have to give her the invisibility. Um, and damage to a random enemy. Random, I'm not a fan of. Apply True Sight on the target, so then she's had to give herself True Sight and the shield, or herself True Sight and the invisibility. Damage to all enemies and apply taunt to the primary target. That's my favorite ability that she has in her kit right there. Then the call assist, additional call assist if she's invisible. So then you can't really run her in an auto team because then the her third ability is going to go first and it's going to apply that taunt to a primary target. But then the primary target on an auto team is going to be someone who has taunt, so that just erases that. Damage to if she's invisible, she won't be invisible at the beginning of her turn, especially since her P2 A5 only gives her invisibility at the end of her turn, so she doesn't even start off with it. So then her A3 is just useless unless she's with Clayface or someone else who gives invisibility. And then call assist. Okay, she'll do it one time. She'll do it twice if she's invisible, but she won't be able to do it then. So then you go down to her A2, and this is a question: if you have a taunter on your own team, does that then mean that that taunter becomes the primary target and then receives that invisibility? You know what I mean? Like, so if you guys don't know, if you ever played auto team or anything like that, anything, let's just Doom. Okay, so you have Black Flash. Black Flash has Doom. If you do his A2, then the Doom automatically goes over to the taunter. So that means that if I'm coming back here and I'm applying things to my own team, and I know that for the A2, the primary target is going to be the taunter if it's an ally, right? It's just attracted to the taunt. No? That's one thing I'm worried about. But I know on the A3 that's going to suck and it's going to apply the taunt to the taunter. So she just doesn't work in auto teams. She might be actually just garbage. Um, yeah, I might have been too high on the B or C. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I'm sorry. I spent longer on that than I expected, but her kit looks confusing, and it looks like there's a lot of disadvantages I see just from talking through it right now in terms of her on an auto team. If she's on a manual team, she works, but I mean her damage better be sick. All right, so Timothy Fox is formerly a strange son of Lucius Fox. After the establishment of the magistrate and the apparent death of Bruce Wayne, he succeeded him as Batman. Okay, so maybe this is a different storyline because, well, whatever. Um, he's a special damage physical. He's physical, right? Yeah. So just the third damage physical in the game. Joker, Artemis, and now Timothy Fox. I like that already. All right. Batarangs Trio. Special damage to an enemy, 75% chance to apply a second hit, and 50% chance to apply a third hit. Gain one int up for every hit. Okay, I like that. That's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. All right, on the A2, Gotham Savior. Gain 50% shield and affinity resistance up, whatever. Gain 50% additional shield if Jace is taunting. So we want him to, he's supposed to be a taunter. Word? Okay. Legendary gain 1 awareness. Alright. Gliding kick. Special damage to all enemies and apply 3 strength downs to all enemies. I'm a fan, okay. If Jace is taunting, gain 2 agility ups. Okay. The next Batman. If Jace is affected by turn meter, gains 4 affinity resistance ups and 4 agility ups. Ooh. Use Batarang Trio on the attack. Ooh. So that makes him a little bit beefier. That's an answer to your Black Flash-ish. So if Jace is affected by turn meter, which he's going to be, he's going to gain affinity resistance ups, which means he's going to be stronger against his positive affinity, I believe. Then also gain agility ups. He's going to be better against physical damage, which Black Flash is special damage, but still the affinity. He's a positive affinity matchup to Black Flash, so yeah, not too worried about that. But still, the agility ups are nice. I would have rather those been stamina ups or something, but whatever. Resilient stance at the start of every Jace turn, 75% chance to gain taunt. Legendary start battle with taunt. So he's a taunter. Is he supposed to be beefy? He has 37k in HP. He has 20. Oh, he has 17 in agility. Ooh. And then intelligence ups. He's sitting right there at 24, 22, 2200. So he has about 2,000 less than what you would call your meaty taunters. He's weak, like 1,000 less in terms of agility when it comes to your meaty taunters. His intelligence is slightly below. Yeah. So, but those agility ups then make sense if he's going to be the taunter, but he can't. He doesn't have a whole lot of agility. Then he's going to need those agility ups just so he can withstand damage. You know what? Let me go back here just to check. I'm going to check out. I'm trying to do this a new way now so I can actually reference other toons. I'm referencing Grundy right now. And I'm just checking on his stats in terms of where his intelligence is at. His intelligence is right around 1,500. So Jace has more than that, but he has about 2,000 less HP. So 2,000 to 3,000 less HP. So he's better defensively and against special damage, which means he should also land some pretty solid special damage shots. But at the same time, he's going to be a good bit weaker against physical. Well, no, because his agility is right about the same as Grundy's. Let me check Barter real quick as well. So his agility is right at Grundy's level. Barda, I mean, hers is a lot to do with stamina ups, but yeah, her agility is a good 2,000 more, or a good 1,000 more than his. Or not 1,000, but thereabouts. So, actually, not even that. I'm doing terrible math right now. Forgive me. 400, right around 400 more. So, like, he might be pretty tanky. His speed is at 120, which means he's going to be relatively fast as well compared to these other taunters. Like, her speed is right at 102. Okay, so Jace might be a little bit of a beast. It depends on how he hits, but he might be a little bit of a beast. Oh wow, but his strength is less than Barda's. Well, no, because he's special damage based, so forgive that little misspeak. So his intelligence is at 2,200. So let's compare him with a solid special damage dealer. We'll compare him with He Who Shall Not Be Named. He Who Shall Not Be Named has an intelligence of 2,900, so right around 3,000. That is, Jace is right around 2,200. Okay. All right. So that is where he is. Oh, and you know what? In fact, as I keep going through this stuff, and I'm sorry if you guys don't like the content this way, let me know. But right now, I'm just trying to do more of a comparison so I can get a stance on where they are and compare their stats. Are probably the best way to do it. So his intelligence is right around the same as about 150 higher than Artemis. So that means he could do solid damage. But Artemis does stack crit ups and int ups. But he does give himself int ups on his A1, which can range anywhere from 1 to 3. And then if he does his out of turn attack, because he was manipulated by turn meter, that could be another 3 hitter right there. Let's just say 2 hitter because it's 75% chance. So he could be, he even gains agility ups on his A3 if he's taunting. Okay, so Jace might be a beast. Jace might be a beast. I don't know. He seems like he'll be relatively unique, especially with this ability to receive buffs if he's manipulated by turn meter. So that might even, I mean, it won't. I don't know if that'll dethrone Black Flash though. Like if they said that if his turn meter, well, he'll use his trio, his Batarangs trio. So if he's even ramped up a little bit, but the whole idea is that if he's on a defensive based team and he gets a turn meter manipulated on him and then he attacks back, so then he's gonna hit an enemy 1 to 3 times. I'm gonna say 1 to 2 because 50% chance is a coin flip. And then he's gonna gain int ups for every hit. So he's gonna gain 2 int ups. Let's just say that. So then let's say he gets that turn meter manipulated by Black Flash first go. He does his 2 hits, gets 2 intelligence ups, and then he sits there. Because then the next one that's gonna go is going to be He Who Should Not Be Named, because we all know that's what's running around right now. And then whoever else goes next, who typically there's only going to be 1 turn meter manipulator per PvP team, and that's what I'm thinking of right now is PvP. So you're not going to necessarily get this whole. He's just going to go nuts, with going off. He's going to have his turn meter manipulated twice by Black Flash, once from the A3, once from the A2. That means that approximately he'll have 4 int ups. If you're lucky, 5 or 6. He's going to have 8 resistance ups, 8 agility ups, which will make him tanky against physicals. And he's going to have that attack going back at random enemy, because you can't really decide who the attacker is unless it's a taunter. So I mean, he might be good. He might be good. He might be okay. I need to see how his kit works. I need to see how he performs, but I think he might be decent. All right, sorry. This video is going to go on way longer than I expected just because of this whole comparison thing that I've been trying to do. I'm sorry. I apologize. Let me speed things up a little bit. After years as a working class man, Edward Nashton decided to turn his intellect towards crime and onto the only one he deemed worthy, Batman. Okay, so contention strike. Damage to an enemy, apply 6 agility downs. Also apply 5 int downs. Okay. Shocking revelation, always apply 5 speed downs and 5 evasion downs to the target. Also stun. So always means that it might miss, but it's going to apply those debuffs. That's how it worked with Black Lightning, actually. Also stun for 1 turn if the target has agility down. 75% chance to use Shocking Revelation on an additional enemy. The problem with this is that if you have Terra, then none of those debuffs matter. But it could be good if Terra's not running around on that team. Speed downs are specifically designed for Black Flash. It's just a matter of you got to get to him first. Instead of 100% chance to use Shocking Revelation, so you're giving more agility downs, more int downs, so that weakens Black Flash in terms of damage, but you're not really bringing Black Flash for damage in the first place. So riddle me that. Damage and apply taunt. And 8 agility down to a target. There's taunt being used as a weapon again. Call assist on the target. Legendary, gain true sight. and death immunity. Also, 75% chance to cast buffs. I'm guessing these buffs, True Sight and Death Immunity, on a random ally. So you apply Taunt, you apply Agility down, 8 Agility down to a target, call Assist on the target. So then you're weakening them with the Agility down. So, you know, you call Assist from an Arcus or something because he'll go in with the physical damage. Then you gain True Sight and Death Immunity and have a good chance of handing that over to an ally. Feeble Minded, 85% chance to use Shocking Revelation on the attacker when Riddler is hit, which would apply the agility downs and also 5 int downs. Legendary, also apply 3 agility downs at the end of the turn. So that's a lot of agility downs. He's debuffing the hell out of people. I mean, that's what he was doing before, but still. Unsolvable Riddle, 80% chance to apply 2 int downs, 2 agility downs to a random enemy at the end of Riddler's turn. Legendary, start the battle with True Sight and 75% chance to reset the cooldown of Riddle Me That at the end of Riddler's turn. Wow. So he's just a debuff god. He might be fun to use, fun to play with. I have no idea. But he's just like one of those, he's just a debuffer and like in the most like ridiculous way. It feels as though if he gets a chance to go off and you don't have debuff immunity, that he's just gonna stack so many debuffs on you that it's just going to basically strangle you. You won't be doing any damage and you'll just be taking massive hits. Like the agility down just means you're going to be so much weaker to physical damage. Toons. Speed down slows you down. Evasion downs you can't dodge. It gets... Okay. I think he might be fun, but not incredibly useful. I wouldn't say like go after him, you gotta, because debuffs here in this game, although useful, aren't necessarily the end all be all. So you're not, if you can take him out early or if you have him on your team, that's not really giving you like a huge advantage outside of certain comps. So I think he might be niche and good, but not like incredible. So former DA Harvey Dent became Two-Face after a mob boss threw acid at him, destroying his face and shattering his sanity. I much prefer the Batman animated series origin of Two-Face. Now, granted, that is not how it happens in the comics, but the animated version, like the way they did his face getting blown off because he was doing that was way cool. And that was the first origin that I got introduced to. And then all the acid stuff came out, and I was like, so dude just was able to bring acid into a courtroom. They didn't have no security or nothing. All right, so twin pistols. 250, I guess, percent damage shots to an enemy, which 150% would be huge. If Harvey apply 1 damage immunity to a random ally. If Two-Face, apply 3 evasion downs to the enemy. 75% chance to fire 2 extra shots at random enemies. Okay, so then that would mean he gets to use his skill twice, I guess. And then maybe he gives himself 2 damage immunities, whatever. All right, coin flip. 50% chance to become Harvey. Apply 4 crit chance ups and 4 agility ups to allies. 50% chance to become Two-Face. Apply 4 hit chance downs and 4 crit chance downs to an enemy. Legendary. Also call assist on a random enemy. Justice for all. Damage to all enemies. If Harvey, apply debuff immunity to all allies. If Two-Face, use twin pistols after Justice for all. Legendary, 50% crit chance and crit damage. Okay. So far it's a whole lot of okay. It's not looking like anything that I'm gonna be like, ooh, I gotta get it. Good fortune. At the beginning of his turn, if Harvey, 75% chance to apply 2 crit chance ups to all enemies or to all allies. If Two-Face, 75% chance to apply 4 evasion downs. They are really hammering that evasion down to all enemies. Legendary, 50% chance to reset Justice for all cooldown. Tough luck. When an ally deals critical damage, if Harvey, 50% chance to purge 5 buffs from an ally. If Two-Face, 50% chance to apply 25% turn meter down to target. Legendary, 50% chance to double debuffs purged or turn meter down applied. So when an ally deals critical damage, which goes to the crit ups. If Harvey, then he'll purge 5 buffs. If not, then 10. Um, 50% chance of 10 for the legendary point. If Two Face apply, if Two Face, 50% chance to apply 25% turn meter or 50% turn meter. I it's okay. Again, this kit is okay. It's very. I think the thing that bothers me with this kit is that it's hard to build a team around it because if he's Two Face, I would want the team to be built one way, and if he's Harvey, I would want the team to be built the other way. Um, because depending on who he is, he's either a buffer or a debuffer, and that means I would treat him and handle him differently than other tunes. Like the way that I would try to ramp him up or ramp up his debuffs, pick one. It changes based on which things he's giving out. And since you have like a 50-50 shot of whatever being whatever, then it's hard to plan around that. So it's hard to kind of wedge him into a team, albeit the kit does fit his personality. I'm not so sure. Again, this is like the Riddler thing. Like I don't know. They both look like they're gonna be meh at best. Like right at average. Some people might use them, run around with them, play with them. I'm trying to reread. Like this is just heavy debuffs. You have agility down, speed down, evasion down, agility down again. Uh, True sight, damage immunity, taunt, agility down. So just making everybody weaker to the physical damage and giving some int downs. And then for Two Face, you have evasion downs, damage immunity possibly, crit chance ups and agility ups, or hit chance downs and crit chance downs. Um, yeah, debuff immunity. I don't know. I gotta be real. I don't know. This doesn't read well. Like so far of these four, I mean, the best one is Jace by a mile. And I'm still hesitant on him just because I need to see how he performs and how his stats stack up as a taunter. But with Spoiler, her kit just seems like it's a little bit all over the place, and I don't know exactly how she fits. With Riddler, he's a heavy debuffer, and he might be good at that job, but with debuff immunity running around with Green Lantern, how Jordan tried and true, and with Terra running around like this whole debuff comp where you're just debuffing everything. I mean, it can work, but it's not really going to be too successful in PvP because these debuffs and all this setup for him to be able to get his thing off is like, then I need to make sure to hurry up and wipe out that team. But or no, I would want a longer battle because the debuffs would just stand to help me out. But if I could just take him out early or just draw his attention somewhere else, I mean, I'm not afraid of Riddler. When I read He Who Shall Not Be Named, when I read his kit last month, I was like, boom, I already know that's a problem. And then I read Stargirls, and I was like, boom, I know she's going to be at least good. Here, out of these four I've read, Chase might be good. That's the best I could say about all of these characters right now. That's kind of sad. And then Batman Cape Crusader, as I said, I'm sure it's bugged. I'm 100% sure it's bugged. I mean, somebody forgot a number, and we forgive you. Just change it. Just change the number back. I mean, you probably put a 3 and it's supposed to be a 7. That's fine. Just change the number. It's okay. That's cool. We forgive you. Sworn to avenge the murder of his parents, Bruce Wayne strikes fear into the hearts of Gotham City's criminals as Batman. Vigilante strike. Damage to an enemy. Apply silence if Batman is invisible. That sounds familiar. Legendary. Gain 40% turn meter if Batman is invisible. Gain invisibility and remove true sight from all enemies, which is a very like specific like deep buff to remove. Like there's only one person who uses true sight to where it's like a detriment to where it's like truly like let's get that true sight off of him, and that's Azrael. Red Robin gives it out. Oh, who else? Etrigan gets it. There's somebody who gives it out as well. World's Greatest Detective. So World's Greatest Detective versus Cape Crusader basically right now. Is that where we're at? Is this like 1960s Batman versus 1989 Batman? You got Adam West going against Michael Keaton over here. By the way, by the way, you know what? I'm gonna drop this here. I'll go ahead and drop it. It's Batman month. If you've made it this far, then I can start a little bit of a controversy. I think Christian Bale was not a good Batman. I mean, he was good, but was he the best? Nope. Sorry. He was good. Now, here's the problem. People mistake good movies with actors in them and then think the actors were good in the movies, and that's not true. And just to go completely off on a tangent, Titanic was a good movie. Leonardo DiCaprio is a good actor, but in that movie, he was trash. The supporting cast were much better around him, and so that made his. But the way his character was written, the way it was performed, the way they spoke to each other was so unnatural and lacking so much chemistry that the sex scene in the car with the steam, I was like, she must be doing it herself because there was no chemistry there whatsoever. So like Christian Bale, as good of an actor as he is, and he's an incredible actor, as Batman, even with the cowl on, he had these like duck lips. That voice thing they did, Ben Affleck was a better Batman. Oops. Like especially since he had the voice modulator. They just did a bunch of crappy movies around Ben Affleck as Batman, but that Batman itself, if you just take Batman out of Suicide Squad, the Batman in Suicide Squad was badass and scary. It's just the movie was garbage. Like the Batman from Justice League, once they redid it, you saw how cool he was, but the movie was garbage. The initial one, the second one was awesome. Like Superman versus Batman, that or Batman versus Superman, that Batman was cool. They just wrote everything horribly, but that Batman was good. Christian Bale, he had Michael Caine and Morgan Freeman around him as a cast. I could act as a white Batman and still get away with it because they're like, well, maybe he's just out of tan. Like, it was hard for him to screw that role up, and he did the best he could. It was not a great execution of what they had. You know what I mean? Like, he was good. Don't get it twisted. He wasn't bad. He was good. However, I've heard many people say he was the best Batman, and that is just outright wrong. If we want to say in terms of like Batman's period, Kevin Conroy, he's the best one. Batman animated series. If you want to go ahead and just go like only on film, then the best Batman, if you want to be real about it, it was Michael Keaton. I'm not going to count Adam West because he's TV's Batman, and his Batman was a golden age Batman, and it's all out of love and everything. But if you're talking about dark and gruesome Batman, then Tim Burton introduced that from the Dark Knight Rises series when he saw. I mean, you know what I mean. So like that's where that Batman started. Then the next one, Val Kilmer was a good Batman in some crappy movies. In fact, he wasn't even really a good Batman. That's a lie. I'm overstepping. I'm overstepping on that one. I'm overstepping. That was too far. Shame. But like Christian Bale, I don't know. George Clooney was a garbage Batman, but he was a good Bruce Wayne. Like that's how I'm separating this stuff out. That's how I want to separate this stuff out. So like I probably shouldn't have dropped this here. And if you guys have watched it this far, go ahead and just drop the nukes on my comment section. That is fine. I'm okay with it. Christian Bale's Batman was good. It was not far, but it definitely wasn't the best Batman in terms of cinematics, in terms of the theater. It was not the best Batman. I'm sorry. He had a great cast around him. He had some great movies. He was in some great movies. However, not the best. He was a bench player on a championship team. Okay, he still got the ring, but he didn't really do much. Like, I mean, if you guys know basketball at all, the Antetokounmpo brothers, Giannis won the championship. His brother was on the team. All right, and his brother's cool. I love his brother. His brother's awesome. I love when his brother gets to play. Giannis won a championship. His brother was on the team. So I was so tempted to cut that part out, but I have to say it. All right, and if you guys are already done with this episode, it's fine. All right, so gain invisibility and remove true sight from all enemies. So yeah, Cape Crusader versus World Greatest Detective. Also, 60% chance to gain 5 evasion ups. Additional 4 evasion ups is the legendary point. Okay. If he's invisible, the evasion ups just bother me. Grapple, but I mean it's possible. Grapple kick, heavy damage to an enemy. That's why I believe that it has to be something, because they just said damage, then it would make sense that damage kind of, but because they put heavy damage on all toons means that it's just going to be a one shot for at least positive affinity matchups, at least that. So it must be a glitch. I'm hoping. So heavy damage to an enemy that cannot miss if Batman is invisible. So sure. Legendary, not a whole lot of mystic evasion up toons running around outside of Eclipso. But anyway, plus 50% crit damage if Batman is invisible, plus 50% chance to gain invisibility. It says, okay, wait. Now I'm confused. What does it mean by plus 50% chance to gain invisibility? So that just means a 50% chance to gain invisibility because there is no chance to gain invisibility on this ability. Okay. Shadow trained, 80% chance to gain invisibility if Batman deals damage. Okay, so maybe they mean that. So that means like on the A3, if he deals damage, then he's definitely gonna, if he deals damage from his A3, then he's definitely gonna gain invisibility if he's not already invisible. Legendary also purged 2 buffs from Batman. Shadow cover at the beginning of his turn. If Batman is invisible, gain a medium overheal, which is awesome, I think. Legendary, Batman starts combat with invisibility. I think it's gonna be pretty easy to keep him invisible. I think his kit could be good and serviceable, especially with that medium overheal that can't miss on the A3. But the stripping true sight, I mean, sure. I don't know if that's necessarily something that I would like highlight as a great thing. It can be useful. Don't get that twisted. The plus 40% turn meter, I think, is also going to be great, so long as you can keep that invisibility up. But that's okay because it seems like everything in his kit allows him. So like the A5 P2, he gets invisibility for 1 turn. Then I'm going to go ahead and go to the A3, so his A3 can't miss. So he has an 80% chance from his P1 A4 to get invisibility if he deals damage. But then if he's leading with his A3 and is already invisible, then he's going to get, based on that legendary point, another 50% chance on top of the invisibility. So that's a 130% chance that he's going to end up invisible after the A3, especially since shadow cover, the invisibility at the beginning of the turn is only 1 turn. Then you go into the A2 where he gains invisibility for another 2 turns on top of the 2 turns that he just gained. Okay. Remove true sight for some reason. Additional 4, and I'm thinking about this in auto terms. And then damage, and then on the first one, damage to a single target, he'll apply silence because he will be invisible, and he'll gain 40% turn meter up. Depending on the cooldown, he'll do that twice in a row before he goes back into his A3. And his A3 means that he might be invisible by the time his A3 gets back around, depending on that cooldown. But no, he has an 80% chance of still being invisible based on those 2 hits from his A1. All right, so he might be okay. He just has to hit like a truck. And so far, not hitting like a truck. Anyway, this video is going way longer than it needs to. I'm already at 42 minutes. Hold on, let me chop. All right, so I'm through the kits, done with that. So let's go ahead. Black Mask, the Crime King. Go ahead and clear the boards for that. Black Mask can be very useful on certain teams, especially in the mid game. So definitely work on that. Batwoman, Army of 1. That is what's up. I need to get her L5. I'm clearing all those boards. Hush is actually a very good toon. He just doesn't really have a place, but if you like using silence, he is good. He can be fun. He can be a lot of fun, but is he like, collect the frags, as I always say, collect all those frags. However, is he somebody you need to break your neck for or spend gems on to get? Not necessarily. Batwoman is a beast. She still is a beast. I'm surprised I don't see her more. I don't know why you don't see her more, but she is incredible, and so I would definitely say go after those frags. Raid tournaments, Two-Face. I think I have him at a certain level. I'll try to make a video of him. I don't know if I've taken him 7 million or 11 or not. Then Darkseid, I think I just did this video actually for Patreon, like a preview of Darkseid, and I just told someone to not work on his Darkseid, Shamil. I just told him not to work on his Darkseid until he has more frags. From this event, if you can get enough frags to L3 Darkseid, then go ahead and work on him. Honestly, L2 is a good place to start working on Darkseid, but you had a lot of work to already do on your roster. But go ahead and collect those frags. Try to get as high as you can in that PvP tournament. Right now, I'm going to look at my Two-Face and my Riddler and just go ahead and tell you my Two-Face, yeah, there ain't gonna be a video coming out on Two-Face. He is at level 10 right now, and I have enough frags to take him L4, but he's L3. Riddler right now is at level 32, and I have enough to take him L3, maybe L4. So maybe I'll get around to him. But the one that I'm going to work on next right now is going to be King Shark. I'm going to try to level up King Shark tomorrow. So then you have the two blitzes, villain and energy. Yo, that physical blitz was BS last month. Man, that was garbage. I hated that. Then you have Jace as a siege toon. Shed a thug tear. I wish he was the freebie. Then you have Stephanie Brown as the 10-day challenge and the 6-day. And then you have a 6-day challenge from Spectre, which makes me kind of like sit to my stomach that I spent 25,000 gems on getting him up to RB1. Even bought that one pack, but that's fine because he might be my first attack based or attack thought process RB2. Like I'm going after those frags heavy. Killer Croc. I hear Killer Croc is good, not great. So maybe I'll even work on Killer Croc. Where do I have Killer Croc sitting right now? I have enough. Whoa, he's like level 7 R5, but I think I have enough frags to take him like L3. All these toons I don't have frags for. In any case, and then there's the list. Now you get down to Dark God's Revenge, Dark Side is back, whatever. So the Damien Origin skin, top 500 users. I mean, okay, cool. I'm not gonna break my neck for it just because Damien is a garbage toon in the game. And then Riddler, I'm not spending 10 bucks on this. So yeah, that does it. This is an extra long edition. I went off on that Batman tangent and probably a couple of other tangents. So wow, this ended up being almost 50 minutes long. I'm sorry if you guys couldn't. If you made it to this, God love you. Oh man. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up without just continue to go on and on and on. Thank you guys for watching. Please check out the Patreon, really and truly. If you want that roster advice, then check out the Patreon. It's in one of the tiers that you can subscribe to. Check the links down below. Try to help me keep this channel going. Check the links down below. Long Halloween is down there. Can't recommend that movie enough. That was awesome. And on top of all that, thank you guys for watching all the way through. Please like, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.